Hi, we're going to try to explain to you the little technique used for doing two-color printing for GHS labels using the 400 IXL. So to start out here, we opened up Label Editor Pro, and we're going up into the left-hand corner, and we're going to choose New. For this case, we're just going to use our label catalog right here. We're going to click on that and then hit OK. We've got a few templates already set up with GHS labels that you can utilize, or you can make them from scratch. Or in this case, we're simply just going to edit a label and customize it from there so we don't have to recreate the wheel from the beginning. So I'm going to choose this label here and then go down here on hit edit, which will bring the label up in our working pane. If you need to make your working pane a little larger, if you go to the lower right hand corner, you're going to see a plus minus. I'm going to hit the plus a couple times just to make the label a little larger so it's easier to work with. The next thing I want to make sure I do before I get rolling is make sure I've got the right printer selected and the right tape width, because these are templated for certain size tapes, so we don't want to create a label and then have it print out wrong on the tape. So I've chosen the 400 IXL as my printer. And if you go to here right below where it says get tape width, you can either choose it manually. I like to hit this button because it will then go ask the printer what size tape is in there. So once we've done that, now we know that we can go ahead and edit this template. First thing I want you to notice is that all these are just holding places of text that you can put a product identifier in, a signal word, and so on and so on. I'm just going to show you in one instance how you would basically edit that text. You would just simply click on that. You'll see the green buttons drop up around it, and then click again inside that box, and then you can go ahead and delete the existing text either by highlighting or one at a time. And I'm just going to write in text of chemical, and that's how you would be able to rearrange the text. When anything is highlighted with the green dots, you can simply just click on it and hold and move it around within the cell to line it up wherever you would like, just like if you were doing a PowerPoint presentation. And then to get rid of the green dots, just need to click off the screen to go on to your next edit. You're going to see within this diamond right here where it says pictograms, that's a placeholder. So I'm going to click on the pictograms till the green dots show up. I'm going to hit my delete button, and I'll do the same over in the other diamond. Now you can either import a pictogram, or if you go up to the symbol button up on the menu key up here where it says symbols and click on it, we've got several categories and there's several tabs across the top. There's a right and left button on the far right hand side. I'm going to scroll this till I get to where it says GHS and ISO. I'm going to click on that. Got many symbols already loaded in here for you. I'm just going to click the old good skull and crossbones and hit OK. You're then going to see a box with dotted lines. As soon as I click, it's going to show me my image. You can simply size the image by going to one of the corners and clicking and holding on it and dragging it to the size that you want, and then dragging that over and dropping that onto your symbol. In this case, you're going to see that there's still a clear box around the symbol. We want to move that behind the GHS border. So I'm going to simply right click on my image here, and you're going to get a dialog box that says block order. We're going to click on that, and I'm going to go to the bottom where it says move to rear. Again, if you've used PowerPoint, you'll understand what I'm talking about. That now has put that image behind the border. If I wanted to use that same image, I could simply right click, hit copy, right click again and hit paste, and then drag that other image over into the other pictogram, or over into the other border. Again, I'm going to right click it, go to block order, and move it to the rear. Now we're ready to print. So we're going to go up to the print button, and there's a couple settings we have to make sure that are in place. So when I hit the print button, I'm going to go to printer settings, and in the printer settings there's going to be 4 tabs here. We're going to choose options, and over here the very first option is your cut setting. Go over to the right drop down box and you got a choice of cut each label, cut after job, or don't cut. I'm going to choose don't cut because after our first print, we're going to need to roll the tape back onto the spool for the second print, and then we'll hit OK. Now if you look in the lower right hand corner, this is where we're going to select whether we're going to print the text or we're going to click the GHS borders. In this case, I already have the red ribbon in the printer, so right now I want to print only the GHS or ISO border, so I'm going to choose that selection. Then what we need to do is we need to go over to the printer. You can see here in the window we already have the red ribbon. Obviously when we lift it up we'll see we have the red ribbon in. But as where the tape comes off the spool and then goes through the printer, you're going to see this line right here. We're going to take a pen and draw a little tick line right along that line. Make sure that as you're putting that tick mark on there that you're looking at it from a position that you're going to be able to replicate the second time around. So we've got our tick mark, and that's when we roll the tape back up. We want it to line up with that edge again. So we're going to close the lid. We're going to turn on the printer. And now I'm going to go over and I'm going to hit the print button. And this will give us our first print. And you'll see on our first print, we've got the first symbol. If you can see right here, the little tick mark that I made before we printed. We're going to open up the cover again. And we're going to simply remove the ribbon and then place the new black ribbon in. Always a good idea that you're going to see a little down button, which says wind up the direction. We want to make sure we give that a good wind to make sure that this ribbon is nice and tight, otherwise we might get some lines in our print. We're going to close. Oh, before we close that, we do have to wind the tape back in and do the best you can to line that tick mark up. The other thing you want to do is there are some guidelines. You can't see them here, but make sure that the guidelines are lined up too, so that the tape is still coming straight out where it was. And then we'll line that tick mark up again, and we'll close the lid. Now we're going to go back to the computer, up to our software, and my print this time, I'm going to go back down here to the lower right hand corner, and now I'm going to print all except the GHS borders. So what this will do is it'll just print the text. So we'll hit OK, and it's told me my printer's turned off, so turn the printer back on. Now we will go ahead and hit the print button. And if you remember, we had a no cut option on here. Do not turn that back on for the second print because it'll realign the tape on you and things won't line up. So now to get your label out, we're going to hit the little scissors for the manual cut. And now you've got your GHS label in red and black, and then you simply trim it off to your liking. Hope that works for you. If you have any questions, feel free to call us back at 1-800-622-6312. Make it a great day.